This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
A lot of firms out there say they will do tax planning, say they will do Social Security planning and RMD planning, and typically they just do investment management. They want your money.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Where do you stand today with your retirement accounts, with your insurance, with Social Security, RMDs, taxes, all of it? This is how we need to think. We need to think outside of the box on these matters.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
When it comes to what you do, Abe, it's the same thing every time, isn't it? Let's establish a plan. It's never static. It's always going to be ebbing and flowing based on what's going on in the world. But finding that plan, having that foundation, and then going and growing from there, that's what it really boils down to, isn't it?
Absolutely. Every time, Heather, it's about creating a plan. The issue is with a lot of people that we see that don't have a plan is that they have a lot of products. They have a lot of accounts. They may have 5 to 10 different IRAs, TSPs, 401ks, maybe an annuity here, maybe a real estate investment trust, maybe some CDs, some stocks, bonds, ETFs, what have you. They have a bunch of stuff, some products, some investments and accounts, but no plan.
Right.
More than 9 out of 10 people, and these are people that have saved typically $1 million to $3 million that walk through our doors, have never had a comprehensive plan. And that is the key, and that is the difference in how we do things versus how many other, advisors and firms do things.
A plan that, of course, thinks ahead of the curve and works to address on situations that may or may not come up in the future. I mean, for a long time, using the word inflation, it wasn't even really that big of a deal when it came to the financial conversation. I mean, you said you've been doing radio now for 5 or 6 years, and inflation really just wasn't that big of a hot button for this conversation. And look at us now. Here we are, continuing to hear various experts weigh in on how long inflation will last. One view is from Johns Hopkins University economist Steve Hanke. He believes we're going to continue to see inflation numbers ranging from 6 to 9% until 2024. And Hanke tells Kitco News that it's not due to the ongoing supply chain problems, a favorite spin of the media.
Those have not been fixed as fast as people thought they would be fixed. And that is the reason why inflation has been dragging on longer than people thought, which is complete malarkey. It's my 95% rule. 95% of what you read in the press is either wrong or irrelevant.
Even though we are here officially taking part of our own media, this radio broadcast, but perhaps to debunk some of the myths that you feel so often come out in the headlines, Abe. Inflation hanging around another 2 years or so can eat into our retirement savings. So what do you tell your clients who call up concerned over hearing what they do, the media noise?
First, Heather, great question. We tell them that it's real. It's no longer transitory. And we were told that inflation was transitory, meaning it wasn't going to be around long term. It wasn't a long-term problem. Well, here we are with year-over-year inflation of almost 7%. It's a real problem, and it could be a lot worse than what the media and what the government wants us to believe it is.
Really?
It could be a lot worse.
Okay.
And so we first empathize with our clients and say, yes, we understand how you feel. A lot of our clients feel the same way about all these issues, and this is now a real issue. And we want to try to tackle it as much as possible. And so if you have a lot of extra cash in the bank, if you have a lot of G-fund money in your TSP, if you have a lot of stable value monies in your 401ks and just dead money that we call that on the show so often, then we need to get that dead money off the sidelines working harder for people. And we always want to look for opportunities. And with inflation being, almost 7% year over year, even if it calms down and it ends up coming down to that 2.5% to 3.5% long-term average, which is where it's been over the long haul, if you are earning less than inflation, then you are losing dollars. You're losing buying power on your cash and your savings for retirement. So we just had a gentleman call in, and he actually called into the show recently. He's in D.C. He's a single gentleman. He's 67 years old. He lives in Washington, D.C., and he's retiring in 2023. He's been a federal government employee for a long time, over 30 years. He's got about $1.5 million saved, and he's very conservative. He's about a 3 on a risk scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being all cash, Heather, and 10 being all stock. And so we did some digging into his plan, and we found out that, yes, he was also invested pretty conservatively. As a matter of fact, almost his entire TSP, which is almost all of the money he has saved, is in the G Fund. And there are pros and cons with every investment out there. And the pros and cons of the G Fund are that it is safe. It is backed by government treasuries. It's probably not going to lose any money since it's backed by the federal government. However, it's earning, I think, 2%, maybe 1.5%, 2% right now. And it was earning less than that over the last year or two. So here's a gentleman with most of his life savings in the G Fund, earning 2% or less, certainly not keeping up with inflation, but just pretty scared and worried about where the markets are headed and concerned about getting back into the markets and then losing money right before he retires. And so that's why he's in the G Fund, right? And that's one of the reasons why he called into the show. Further, as we were doing more portfolio analysis for him, we found a variable annuity with 3.9% in annual fees. Let me say that again. This gentleman had a variable annuity where he was paying just under 4% in annual fees. And when we did the math and we did the research on that specific product he owns, and we told him, he would cover his face, like his eyes, like he was embarrassed. And so really, he was really like pissed off that he was sold that and that he purchased that and that he was truly paying almost 4% in product fees for a certain product. And so what was the solution for this gentleman, Heather? It was a fully invested, globally diversified portfolio with hardly any overlap, a plan for the first time in his life, a plan to follow and track, a plan to retire January 1st of 2023, a plan for his G Fund dead money and his TSP, a plan to eliminate a product where he was paying almost 4% in annual fees. Yes, those exist out there. And so he was extremely happy after going through our process. And so for anyone listening right now, if you sound a little bit like this gentleman and you might be retiring within the next year, you feel like you've done enough. You might have a TSP, a 401k, some IRAs, maybe it's an annuity, maybe it's real estate properties, whatever you have, you may feel like you've done enough, but you just don't know how to transition from your working career into retirement. That here at Abish Financial is really our forte. It's helping people transition from their working careers into retirement. It's a totally different ballgame. And if you'd like that Where Do I Stand plan and that comprehensive retirement roadmap, just visit us at retirementkeyradio.com and click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page.
Abe, I know a very important part of your Where Do I Stand plan is obviously figuring out an income plan for your clients. And obviously, for all Americans, one big part of our income plan is what we will be getting from Social Security. So once seniors reach the age of 62, that's when you can begin taking Social Security benefits. But it does come at a cost because the monthly check you receive goes up each year that you delay taking it. An article in the Motley Fool was looking at different ages to claim Social Security and weighing out those pros and cons. So I wanted to ask you how you typically advise your clients.
What we typically do, Heather, is we run a Social Security action plan analysis report, a Social Security maximization report. And so what we get is our clients' birth dates. We get the benefits for each age they are. We throw that into our software, and it gives us, the ideal time to take Social Security. Then from there, we talk through the plan with them. Like, do you need the Social Security benefit? How much longer you can continue working? What does your health look like? I mean, if you're on kidney failure, you might want to take the benefit now. And and I say that because we have had clients on kidney failure. You really want to take your health into equation and as part of your decision-making process. So there are a lot of factors, but here are some of the basics, Heather.
Okay.
When you're young and retiring early, if you take benefits at 62, everybody knows that the benefit's going to be lower, right? There's going to be a reduction in benefits by typically 25 to 30% from your full retirement age benefit. On the other hand, if you do wait until full retirement age, perhaps that's 65 to 67 for you, you're going to receive a larger benefit because you just waited 4, 5, 6 more years. And if you wait till 70, you can and will receive the largest benefit. However, if you die at 71 or 72 or even 75, obviously everyone knows you would have been better off receiving benefits early than waiting until 70.
Right.
And so we hardly ever recommend that someone wait till 70 just because you also want to run the math and you want to run the break-even analysis on how long will it take you to break even by waiting until 70 versus taking benefits at 66 or 67. And for most people, when we run that break-even analysis, Heather, it takes usually 10 to 13 years.
Oh, okay.
Almost a solid decade
Got it.
before someone would start winning by waiting until 70. So Then we say to our clients, Heather, if you're 82 years old, are you really going to be upset that you're now receiving less than you would have by waiting until 70? No, you'd be happy that you took the benefit in your mid-60s and that you enjoyed it for those 3 or 4 years. You're not going to be worried about it when you're 82. And yes, the benefit might be larger at 82, if you're still living. However, it takes typically 10 to 13 years to break even. And so when our clients hear that, most of our clients say, I don't want to wait a decade to break even. I want to enjoy my money in my go-go years. So if you're listening right now and, you have not made a Social Security decision for yourself, you're in your late 50s, early 60s, you haven't started Social Security yet, you may be wondering when it is best for you and your spouse or yourself to take Social Security. Go to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us link at the top of the page. We'll get your birth dates, we'll put it into our software, and we'll help you determine when it is best for you to take Social Security, and we'll put that together in a comprehensive retirement plan.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com and join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abraham Abish, NPM number 770-3575.